folks. It's a pretty crappy day out in Florida today. It's been raining all day so far and it's been gloomy. But thankfully we have a clean and dry, well, relatively clean garage space and a new toolbox. And today I've got some stuff to work on, so I'm going to take you through the journey. But first, let's hop in the car and start this talk off with what's going on. So, as you could probably know, I've gotten the car running fairly recently, and I've been slowly ironing out things that I want to get done. And one of those things is the stereo, and we're going to do that today. I've got a older Alpine unit in here, and it's not that bad. It was pretty good in the day. It was actually a pretty expensive radio, and it had iPod connectivity, but for whatever reason I can't connect any of my iPods to it. In fact, this thing's so old it uses the old 30-pin connector. I did find my old iPod. I did make sure it worked. I hooked it up to my laptop and everything works on it. Charges, transfers music, I can listen to music on it. But for some reason I cannot get it to connect to this stereo. So I decided that in lieu of using old technology, it's time for an upgrade. So today we're going to install a new stereo. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually relatively simple, and as you can see, I've already done it once in this car. So mostly it's just going to be removing some panels, pulling out the old Alpine unit and installing the new unit, which I'm going to show you in one moment. Now you'll notice this is not a factory unit, like I said, but I've also don't have the standard dash kit most people have. So most people have the Metra or Scosche kit. This is actually a Mitsubishi OEM part. This is the JDM double DIN plate. So it's, in my opinion, it's a lot nicer for an aftermarket stereo install. It's really hard to get, really expensive at the time I bought it. I think I paid $200 for a piece of plastic essentially. And I had to wait probably 2 months to get it for some reason. Anyways, we got it now, and let's go check out the new stereo in the meantime. It's a JVC unit, KWM740BT, as you can see, and it's pretty inexpensive. I read some reviews, and it seemed like it got pretty good reviews, and some videos on YouTube. People seem to like it. It's not very high-end radio, but JVC's been around for a long time, so I figure I can't go that wrong. The big feature that I like about this is it has Apple CarPlay, so I'll be able to hook my iPhone directly into it and use all the Apple features, including Waze for navigation, and listen to all my music, Pandora, Spotify, yada yada yada. So anyways, here's the actual unit, which I've got upside down. We're going to install this. First things first, let's go to the back of the car and get this sucker open, because we're going to go in here and disconnect the battery first. So I'm gonna go grab some tools and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back. Now what we're gonna do is pull this cover off the battery panel. Okay, we've got our battery right there. Let's go ahead and take the negative off first. Okay, car is off, as you can see. Let's go ahead and pull this one off too. As you can see, I'm not running a factory battery. I'm running a Bosch Platinum AGM series battery, and so far I like it. You can see the factory vent tube fit in there fine. Alright, let's go ahead and open up the car, and you know what, let's close this for now, keep the water out because the garage is open. By the way, did I mention I got a new toolbox? The other one was very, very small. And now I've got something that can actually hold everything. And the cool part is we got a power strip in here. It's going to charge my Bluetooth speaker and my power tools. But let's try to keep this nice and organized. Lots and lots of space. Anyways, let's grab this sucker. It's a power screwdriver, I guess. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, it's badass. So how this thing works is you basically hold the trigger. It's gyroscopic, so as you turn it, it speeds up in the direction you're turning it. makes taking out screws a blast because it's super easy. Let's go ahead and show you where we're going to use this thing first. Toss it in there. Oh man, the door's locked. Okay, locked. So first thing we're going to do is we have to remove this trim panel right here. This one right here. And we're probably going to open the glove box because that's going to allow us to take this trim panel off right here. So let's do that first. There's a couple screws. I believe there's one down here. Let me go get a flashlight so you can actually see. I take that back. The screw is actually between the glove box and the piece. So we're gonna basically, you take the glove box, you push in right here, you unclip that. Do the same thing on the other side. And you can see it drops down. It's actually where your cabin filter is if you ever need to change that. But now that we've got some space in there, we're going to go after that with the screwdriver. And actually, I think you can, yeah, we're going to lose all the contents of our glove box. Yep. But you can basically pull the piston. Oh shoot, where the heck did it go? Oh, it came completely out. You can pull this piston off, and it's just an air piston, you know, it's not really that useful. It just slows it down. Ooh. Okay, yeah, no, I thought it was cracked for a second. That scrape there looked like a crack, but it's not. Anyways, now we got all the room we need to get that. Go ahead and take our gyroscopic screwdriver. And doing this stuff on camera is hard. Take it and turn it. And see how nice and easy that is? Got the screw out. Put that somewhere where we won't lose it. And now we just pull this piece off, right? Pull that piece off, put it somewhere safe. You can see now we've got the screw here. Go ahead and put our screwdriver on that. Got that one out. Okay, now we just basically want to lift up on this carefully, of course. Start at the end. I'm steering gear. Okay. Now, when you get down to here, let's turn this light off for a second, or turn it. You gotta be really careful here not to break it. You don't want to pull too hard, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. Mine comes out pretty easy because, well, I've taken it apart several times. Let me go ahead and put that in the back seat. We're gonna clean up our mess down here and then move on to the stereo. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we're inside the vehicle, we have the glove box removed, which, by the way, after I took the piston off, I forgot that you can actually rotate the glove box all the way down and it comes off the pivot points pretty easily. So I just removed that out of my way completely. Now, it's an aftermarket stereo, so I'm gonna pull this trim ring because it's actually on the exterior. There we go. Starting to come out. Kind of snaps in, but you know what, to be honest, well, I've snapped it in and out a couple times. Let's just get rid of that. Just throw that out there. So now we've got this whole area clear. Now you're going to see a couple screws, but you don't have to take them off actually. You basically are going to grab down here and down here and give a slight tug. Like, you're going to unclip it basically. And as you can see, it clips from there. And then we want to go ahead and, if we can, try to pull it out near the top, right? But pull out slowly, because once you got it taken off, you still have to go ahead and grab this clip. This is always tricky to do one-handed. You basically have to grab this connector and carefully pull it out of your hazard flasher thingy.
2 hours later.
So basically you just unplug that and go ahead and carefully take this trim piece, set it to the side. Now, holding the radio in, you've got a bracket. You can see up here we've got 1 screw, we've got 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to go ahead and take those off and pull the whole unit out with the wiring. So let's get to it. So you guys are looking at the top-down view, we'll go ahead and take our screwdriver. Okay, so now that I've gotten everything out, you can see what we're dealing with. Here's the old unit on the left, the Alpine, which is a pretty decent unit for its time, and the new unit. But, gotta do some wiring. Whoa! Anyways, just dropped something. We want to borrow this connector, which was basically a jumper connector to the factory harness, which I soldered onto here. I'm going to cut all these wires, and we're going to connect it to the JVC harness and install that sucker. So let's get going. Got to break out the soldering iron, the clippers, some heat shrink, and go at it. So we've effectively stripped all the ends. Let's go ahead and get our soldering iron and tin these suckers up. We've got the JVC harness right here, which is labeled, but by the way, this came from Crutchfield, I think. So it uses all the industry standard colors. So it's going to be a one-to-one match. We'll have a couple wires we don't connect for accessories we don't have, but it should be pretty straightforward. Oh, forgot to mention, we got this thing, which is a micro bypass switch. This is basically a device that tricks the stereo into thinking that your parking brake is always engaged, mainly because when you get this type of stereo, they have a safety feature that keeps you from touching certain features when the car is in motion. Now, I don't know if these are legal. But what I found is that I can't figure out where the brake safety switch is to hook this up to on the stereo properly, and that usually locks you out of changing clock settings and other things. So I just think that's stupid. I'm not going to be watching videos, but we're going to install this anyways, and this is going to bypass the parking brake safety. On the stereo, that is, not on the car. The parking brake will still work on the car, just the stereo won't know that it's been disengaged. So I was practically holding my breath the whole time. If you don't know, you're not really supposed to be breathing solid or fumes in, so you want to do this in a well-ventilated area. We've got an open garage, so it's not too bad, but a fan would have been nice too. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the JVC harness and match up the wires, cut some heat shrink, and solder it all together. Okay, so I'm in the house now. I probably lost the last bit of video because somebody freaking called me while I was recording, and my phone decided calls are more important, which is probably true. But anyways, I was having difficulty with the soldering iron, so I came inside. I'm going to use my Hakko FX888D to finish soldering this up. And let's go. I've already started hooking up the bypass, which I've only got one wire left. That's the ground, but I have to solder it in at the same time I solder the ground in here because they need to share. So let's get going. Starting with the yellow wire. We'll get this sucker heated up. Oh yeah, the Hakko is way better. That took moments. Yep, okay, we're gonna go outside, heat shrink all these, and plug it in and see if everything works the way it's supposed to. Probably gonna have to go reconnect the battery on the car, but we're good. All right, one moment, we'll be right back. All right, now that we've got it all soldered up and ready to go ahead and cut the zip tie off that I no longer need. Very carefully, of course. Don't wanna break what I just soldered. Get all the wires covered because we are gonna heat shrink all of this. All right, that looks like it's ready to go, and we're gonna go ahead and put the stereo in the car and hook things up and see how it works. Alright, brackets on. Let's go ahead and test fit it in the car. Alright, back in the car, we got our harness. I'm just going to go ahead and hook this up to here. Okay. Stick it back there a little bit. Pull out our antenna. Now we're going to take this sucker and slide it in there, which I'm going to do off camera because I can't hold it and align it at the same time. So let's see what happens. Alright, so we got the stereo kind of situated in there. I'm going to put the top 2 bolts on and we're going to test the trim. Make sure everything fits the way it should before we completely bolt everything down. Okay, so I've got the trim piece on real quick, and it looks a little inset to me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out and move the brackets up 1 whole slot and see how that looks. Alright, that looks a lot better, so I'm going to go ahead and take the trim piece off one more time, pull the plastic, and go hook up the battery and see if this thing works properly before we put the rest of the trim in. Alright, plastic off. Like I said, let's do the battery. I gotta tell you, the reason why I'm videotaping again before I hook the battery up is because I feel like this one looks a lot nicer than the other one. It's more flush with the outside edge. The other one stuck out a lot, and it just looked, there's too many damn bezels on it, so this one looks a lot cleaner to me. I might make a carbon fiber piece to trim this out, but we'll see. I really like the way this looks, so let's hope it works great. Dang it. How's this going? Aha! There we go. Alright. Moment of truth. Put the key in. Alright, let's set the sucker up and I'll come right back. Alright, well it seems to be working great. Let's lower this real quick. So it seems to be working real well. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and hook it up to the iPhone, which means I'm going to have to stop videoing because I'm using my iPhone for video. And then I'll go ahead and put all this trim back, which is the reverse of how I took it out. But really, you know what? I mean, I don't really need to film that. So let's just say mission accomplished. Blech. Can't talk today. I'm happy to say whoa, that's interesting. Oh, okay. I guess that's how it sleeps. We'll have to change that because that's annoying. I want to be able to see what's on there all the time without touching it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. There'll be more Evo videos to come. I got plenty of other parts that are here or on the way that are going to go on this. But little mods to bring this thing up to daily driver spec, even though I won't be daily driving it. I want it to be comfortable so that when I do decide to just take it to work, I have my tunes and everything's cool and we're ready to go. So thanks for tuning in again, and look forward to showing you more stuff. Bye.